All right. Looks like there's a few of us. We may as well kick off. So, welcome to one of our weekly sessions on Funraisin Live. Today, I'll be taking you through a little bit of the platform, looking at a few example sites, as well as a few things in the admin, and yeah, showcasing some of the features. The format of this is very much a open discussion. So if you do have any questions at any point in time, just feel free to shout out. We've enabled everyone, so yeah, you can feel free to just jump in. Challenge me as much as you can. We've been waiting for someone to stump me on features or things that are or aren't possible. So the more questions, the better. And I'll just kick off by giving a little bit of background on myself. So I've been with Funraisin for 3 years now. Prior to that, I worked in marketing automation, looking after big data personalized campaigns, as well as conversion rate optimization and data analytics. So yeah, I look after the implementation at Funraisin, all the technical implementations. As well as anything to do with data and analytics and specific business requirements. Cool. Are you guys ready to jump on in? Share.
Yeah, look, I've already had a call today and I think my query's been dealt with.
Okay,
cool. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
So first thing I'll take you guys through is some of the options for registration flows. So I'll show you what it's like in Funraisin. Funraisin is very much your platform. So it's all your branding, your styling, your requirements for how you want people to register. So I'll take you through a few of those. And then as we go through, if you guys have any questions, feel free to jump in and give me a question. Cool. So I'll take you guys first through this Brizzy to the Bay. So this is using our ticketing functionality. So the user can go in, select their tickets. They can choose whatever quantity they like. They can see the price right there. They can go through, create an account. So as part of creating an account, it has your basic details. You can also add any custom fields that you want in here as well. So I'll just fill this in for you.
Hey, Luca, did you want to just explain how a user or a fundraiser is creating an account on the platform?
Yeah, sure. So as part of this process, they're creating an account with you. So this is your database. So the user creates their personal account, and as part of that, they can obviously register for events or potentially just a fundraising page. In this case, we do have a registration fee, you saw that up front. So the user selects their tickets, then they enter their personal details. This is what creates the actual account. They enter their address details if required. So in the UK, you would likely have this for gift aid purchases in the event that someone wants to make a donation at the end of this. So this is an Australian site, but I'll take you guys through. And agree to the terms and conditions. Over here, you create your page. So in this case, we also have fitness integrations with Strava, Fitbit, and MapMyFitness. So people can choose and say they want to do 100 kilometers for the month of June. This will automatically pull in from those sources if they have it connected and if you have it enabled on the platform. And then, yeah, they can just log their steps. And if they don't have those things and you're still doing potentially a virtual walk or something like that, you can still add those distances manually. So you're not limited by the fact that someone may not have Strava or Fitbit.
Hey, Luca, just a quick question. When you put the goal in of the distance, Presumably this is a DIY where you're given the freedom for people to set their own challenge. But let's say a charity wants to have a designated distance to be covered over a certain period of time. Would that be defaulted?
Yeah, so you can do that as well. So you can put in, you know, default distance. So you can say, you know, if it's, for example, we have another site that made 50K. So their one is 50 kilometers. And they just, you can choose to hard code that, or you can set that as the minimum, and then people can choose to walk or run or ride above that.
Great, thanks.
Same goes for actually the goals as well. So for example, if you have a minimum fundraising target, in this case, you know, it's got 250, you can increase that and you can have a default amount, but you can also have a default amount that's higher than the minimum. So you can have it not allow you to raise less than 250, but it could start at 700 or whatever you wanted it to be.
Great. And just to quickly put out there, any questions, because I always challenge Luca every week. And last week we had about, I think it was 17 challenges to Luca. So any challenges, just speak up or put it in the chat. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Next thing people do is create the little blog post. So you can set some default text for this, as well as default title and a default image as well. And then people can upload their own images as part of this as well. And then in this case, we have an option to create or join a team. So I can also create a team. I can set a fundraising target specific to that team, and I can have the option of making that team public or private. What this enables is for users to just go to the team page if it's public, and they can click just join team and they can just jump straight in. Otherwise, if it's private, the captain has to invite them. So it kind of gives you that flexibility as well. You know, if it's a corporate team and you want it to only be, you know, employees, you can also do it based on that invite link instead. Any questions on this step? Nope. Okay, I'll continue on. And then finally, we have the optional donation amount. So for this, you can have, you can customize these as well. So you can set any amount you like for these, as well as add descriptions or add images as part of this to showcase those dollar handles. And then the user would select the amount. They'd go through. Has a little, in tickets, it has a little summary of the tickets that I've purchased. So you can see I've got 2 adults, 1 child, and my donation of $107. If you have a promo code, you can also apply a promo code for a free discount. Or if it was 20% off, 50% off, the system can generate these for you so you can share them out. You can apply that promo code and then you can make the payment as well. I'll go through and show you what one of these pages looks like on completion. So when you go through, when you confirm your registration, you land on your fundraising page. And this has your profile picture that you've selected, what team you're in, if you've selected a team. It will have your fundraising goal. It has a little donation panel on the side, as well as a graph of how, of your fitness that you've logged through your app or manually added. And then the blog posts. We also enable a whole bunch of badges that you can add onto the pages and make them as custom as you like. So you can see all these ones for Brizzy to the Bay, they're all specifically styled for that event. And it's all specifically relevant. So they've got this $1,000 club and this 1,000-kilometer club that's set up, as well as, you know, rewards like a microfiber towel when they raise $500 or free entry for future events. So these are all custom ones that you can add on there as well. And I'll show you quickly how easy that is to add. So if I go into my platform setup, my fundraising options.
And just now, just to make it clear, you're in the back end of what any charity would have access to, correct, Luca?
Yeah, correct. So this is the admin. So in here is where you control everything. It's where you set up your events, you set up your content pages, you set up any logic around, for example, these badges, like uploaded profile picture, and then what that relates to in the images, as well as all the automated emails. So all the ones that come through on registration confirmation, donation confirmation, those kind of things. Any questions on the profile pages?
Just a one from me. Last week we had a question around how can you do the badges on a charity level and also an event level? Can you just quickly talk about that?
Yep. So that's really straightforward to do. In the admin, all of those settings can be set at both platform and event level. So I've just taken you through the event level one, but inside events, you also have the ability to add custom badges. So for example, if you had a run and a walk, you can set run specific badges and walk specific badges. As part of that, you can also set custom dollar handles and everything. Yep, so all those amounts. So for example, if you had a corporate event or like corporate registration flow, you can also have different donation amounts just for them as opposed to everyone else.
Great. Luke, we've got a couple of questions sent via registration. One was from Kelsey asking for Giving Day features. I'm not sure it's the right time to go through that right now, but unless you can quickly answer that one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure in terms of what we're able to do. I mean, we have quite a few appeals pages, things like that are really quick to stand up. And as part of that, yeah, you can leverage that for Giving Day. So yeah, it really depends on how you want to take advantage of that specific day. So yeah, we really usually address that on a case-by-case basis. Like sometimes there's just a campaign for it where there is still like a registration and it's a fundraising page that people set up for the day, or it's just an appeals page which you can set up donation pages in, I don't know, 5 minutes. So yeah, it's really a quick process.
I think we've got Kelsey on the line. So Kelsey, if you wanted to jump in and add a bit more context, but another thing that we could do is maybe corporate match giving is a great way to activate corporates and brands on a giving day to match any funds during a certain time.
Yeah, I am here as well. So I was just looking for like any examples that you guys have on your platform, because I haven't seen that many yet. Not saying that there isn't, I just haven't really seen any. So I was just wondering, I guess, what latest features and things you guys did have.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Yeah, so from that perspective, we don't have any live at the moment, but usually it is an appeals page, and as part of that, we do a bunch of different things. So we have obviously social integrations in terms of being able to share that page and leverage that. We also have the ability for people to add, their messages as part of the donation itself. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of custom stuff. So it's really, because we allow the level of flexibility that you do, it's pretty much as whatever you think of, we can implement it. So that's really what it comes down to.
Okay, great. I'm at very early stages, so I don't have any like concrete plans yet. But you can also do the match giving as well and have like the donors at the top of the page of who.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of match giving, we have a few different ways of doing it. So this is an example of a corporate match giving. So let's say an organization is already going to donate X amount, right? What you can do is you can leverage that to increase your donations. So you can say this company is providing, up to $100,000 for all donations up to maybe 25 or 50, just in case someone makes some ridiculous donation and all the money disappears in a second. And then we can add something like this, where you have, you know, a countdown for how long that match giving period is going to last. You also have the company's logo, and as part of the donations, there'll also be a donation record with that company's logo. So it's a great marketing tool for them as well, because they can say, you know, like, we're doing this at the moment, getting quick. And we've seen some awesome success with that, especially for, you know, when the money is already allocated, it's going to be received anyway. This way you can leverage it and get a little PR thing going for them as well. So it's a great
do you have any
win-win.
kind of packs made up of that, of like examples, just because it'd be great for like a corporate to try to get people on board for the giving day, to show them, I guess, what that could look like?
Yeah, we can send some across to you. We can send you some examples, ones in the past.
And I guess
at the moment there aren't any live, because obviously it's for a period of time. So but we can send you some examples.
And in terms of the you can change how long the matching will exist for, and that's all customizable.
Yeah, you can adjust everything. So for match giving, you can select the cap, you can select the time, you can switch them out, you can set up multiple, and then as soon as one of them runs out of funds, you can just switch it to someone else. So yeah, there's lots of ways that you can kind of you have a lot of flexibility on that. And like I said, if there's some specific thing that needs to be done as well, we do those.
And when the donation enters, so if I would have donated $10 and it was matched, would it appear as $20 to the donor?
The donor would appear as 10, and they would see the additional 10 on the page. From
they would see the additional 10.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that where you see the logo then, Luca? Is that where you see the logo of the corporate? Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing is having the amount come through. Like, we can personalize it in the email, so we can add the match giving amount. But sometimes that confuses people, because they'll say, you know, I donated 10. I know that I get match giving, but what does it say? Yeah. So, but it's up to you. We can add that into the copy of the email.
And is there any way to add in like pre-pledged donations to the platform, like throughout the day? Is that like a
easy?
Okay.
So you can just go in at any point in time. You can add a donation. You just put in the details, and you say if it's a sponsored one. So if it's going to a page or a person, so a page or a person, or if it's just an amount. So for example, if we go to May 50K. Oh, whoops. There we go. You'll see they have on their page the amount that they've raised. So you could also have that amount update based on offline donations. So even if they didn't make it to a specific page, but just a general pledge, you can still have an update on there. Yeah. Can
you do bulk uploads of that, or?
100%.
Yeah.
So in donations, there's donations and entrants. So even you know, sometimes obviously we have projects that the migrating platforms just at the start of the event or something. So there's a whole bunch of entrants to migrating. So we have bulk import and a bulk import of donors and entrants. So you can, and same with events actually. So you can bulk import pretty much whatever you like. Teams as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we do quite a lot of interesting things with that as well. So, for example, we have some people that will bulk import all historical data. So an example of that is Vinny's CEO Sleepout in Australia. And so we imported their entire legacy database. So each entrant, when they come in, they have a whole bunch of custom stuff on their pages. So if we look at this person, for example, you can see that they've participated 6 times over the years, how much they've raised. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we do like that, as well as in the dashboard, sometimes we have gamification elements. So over the years, they might have like a badge for their rank. So we work with Soldiers Charity in the UK, and they have, you know, the military ranks, and those will have, over all the years that they've been fundraising, so since 2015, they'll have, you know, you are now general because you've raised 100 and something thousand pounds. So yeah, it's quite a good thing to leverage. And just having that data accessible and you having full control of it means you can do pretty much whatever you want with it. So
Yeah.
cool. It's quite handy for automations as well. So we have integrations with MailChimp, Campaign Monitor, Autopilot, as well as Salesforce and stuff. So you can import everything into Salesforce and SFTP transfers if you wanted to. So you can send out custom comms based on you know, people's propensity to fundraise. So if they've had blog posts and stuff, or their lifetime achievements. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can leverage from the platform by having access to all that information.
Cool, great, thank you.
Cool. Cool. There's another question here from Paul around Strava leaderboards. Can you create a leaderboard based on fastest time through Funraisin? Absolutely. So we have, as part of the Strava integration, we do capture time. So we can quite easily just pull that into a leaderboard. It's just a setting inside one of the blocks and pages. So when you're creating a page and you create a block, you can just add one for time instead, and then we can style it up pretty much however you like.
Luca, did you want to explain what a block is? Sorry.
So, sorry, these content blocks. So inside these content blocks, you can add a whole bunch of stuff. You've got like a little WYSIWYG editor, as well as custom blocks. So we have quite a few of those, like, you know, blog posts if you're doing regular blog updates on the site, or featured fundraisers. So you can mark fundraisers as featured and have them appear on the page, or just a random selection of fundraisers if you like. Leaderboards, which can be based on amount raised, distance, time, yeah, progress bars, events roles. There's a lot of options there. So
and these blocks, sorry, Luca, and these blocks are available per event page or website. So either it can be the entire charity's website or multiple event pages, but this is the same for every event.
Yeah, so you can create pages at platform level, which are like your usually content pages, which are you know, the FAQs maybe, even things like terms and conditions, or like your homepage, whatever you need to do. And then you can have event specific ones as well. So in the example of the May 50K, we'll just change it to the international site. They have their different events. So if I go to event Ireland, so this is just the Irish one, this is just relevant to them. So they have an entire homepage based on the specific location, and then from here you can register. So all of these pages have access to those blocks, and you can use those wherever you like, pretty much.
Yeah, for something good to call out there is a workplace team. So, you know, as we want to work with more corporates and distribution partners, whether it's brands, corporates, any type of partner, you can have workplace teams and just roll them up and add a bit of competition, I guess, as well, Luca. Eh?
Yeah, we have a few features for corporate. So we have one for like adding a workplace team. We also have full organization pages. So that means that you have like a top level where organization can have multiple teams underneath it as well as individuals. So that enables you to, you know, really, you know, push that corporate side of fundraising, which, yeah, usually is quite hard to do. But as part of this, you can just add it as a step. So you can just have like a step that has, the corporate page, and people can set that up as part of their registration. We also do things like if something that intensive isn't required, we also do things like a page for like a custom generated page that's automatically generated based on the organization name. So we'll have all the people that are related to that organization. So that means that you don't have to necessarily have people create another page, but we can just set up an automatically generated one. So they still get the same, like a similar experience, and then people can donate to each of those areas.
But you can also have a corporate leaderboard, so you can have bar versus HSBC to kind of like
Yeah.
really drive that gamification of corporate leaderboards?
Yeah, so we have that here. So on May 50K, we have the top workplace teams. Sorry, I'm having a few internet issues. It's going quite slow. You have workplace teams, so you can see how the teams are comparing, and you can go through each of those. So inside each of these, we'll have, you know, how many team members and how much they've run overall, as well as on the individual pages, you also have that, you know, this person has run 80 kilometers out of 100, and then they have their badges as well.
Yeah, and that's a great way to sort of like get that, drive the behavior of doing more activity, but also raising more than another corporate that may be a competitor of yours, like Red Bull versus Monster or something.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
HSB versus Barclays, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Any other questions on that one? Nope. Okay, I'll jump onto one of the other questions from previously. So what capacity does the Light platform offer for Strava or TikTok interaction? So we can add, as part of even the Light stack, we can add the option for people to add their TikTok videos, and Strava is enabled, so that part's, yeah, that's built in. And then in terms of the leaderboards, just touching on that again, yeah, we can customize what that pulls in as well. So pretty much however you need it to display. Like it could be all the people that have raised funds over this 2-week period. If you have like a fundraising sprint, we've seen some great success with that, where, you know, there's a special badge if someone has raised a certain amount over a certain period of time. So we can just add custom queries for you. That's really easy. Doesn't take very long, and then yeah, we can display it however you like. Cool. Next up, there was a question about voucher codes. So we have promo code functionality in the admin. As part of that, you can create a new promo code at any time. This promo code can be either for access or a discount. So you can have a discount on entry fee, merchandise, or donation. And then you just set if it's a value, if it's a percentage or an amount, how many entries you want to have it for, if you want to lock it to a specific event. So you might have a promo code for 50% off, but you're only promoting it for one event. You can just select the one event and say 50%. And you want that for 5 entries. And you want to allocate a payment type, because obviously you do need to record the actual transaction. So you would set that as a like free, and then that creates it. You can create your own custom codes as well. I've just used an auto-generated one, but you can change these as well. So if you want it specific for an organization or something, you can have the organization name in there or something like that. Any questions around promo codes?
Can you do, because I know we can do shop, can you do promotion codes on goods on the store?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just a matter of changing that discount to merchandise. And that gives you 50% off merchandise.
Great. Perfect. Can you do by date as well, Luca, the promo? Rather by capacity, could you do it by date range? So get 50% off on a t-shirt during May.
No. You would just remove it at the end of the month or at the end of the period. Okay. You can just set it to closed, so you can still have a record of it. But yeah, it's just no longer valid.
Okay.
Cool. Any questions on those? No. Okay, I'll jump into I'll show you a quick example of this. So we sometimes do these custom dashboards that are specifically relevant to the campaign. So as part of this, the user just jump in. The user gets this custom dashboard so they can see their achievements. So in this case, obviously it's Porgus, so everything's dog related. So you have your achievements, like dog tags. You've also got your performance. So different levels unlock different rewards. And as you increase your level, your badge changes. You can see your goal as well as how much the average person raises. So it's quite a good way to keep people moving, as well as you also have the overall, in this case, it's about steps. So you have pause steps, as well as how long people have walked in kilometers, and you can like log additional activity against that as well. So this is a really like fun way to keep people coming back and achieving things, and stay engaged with the fundraising as well. Yeah, so we do quite a few of these, whether it's gamification elements to keep people coming back, or things to enhance the virtual experience. So we'll also have, in the case of leaderboards on this one, we're likely going to have leaderboards based on dog breed, so people can compare steps between different breeds, which is quite a fun way of doing it. Yeah, is there any questions around dashboards?
No, only that I love dogs, so this is cute.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is really cool. There's new things added to this one every year. I'll take you guys through some of the management aspects of it. I can see there's a question here on is it possible to transfer a supporter from one event to another, and how would that work? Would the fundraising page update with the new event name? So yes, it would, but technically the URL would remain the same. So if I look at myself, for example, in here, I have my URL, which is already over here. If I want to move events, I'll just go into that entrance event, edit that record, and then just change the event. So I want to go to this one. I want to move the donations, and I don't want to be in the team anymore. And that's it. So you would just save that, person moves. So the URL, the base URL, the one that they would have shared, would have stayed the same, so that people would still be able to come in. But if you wanted to change it, you can as well. The only thing is that would be different, as you would have, you can have an event name at the end of it, but that URL usually isn't shared. So you would just get people coming to the same page. Next up is insights. So is it possible to have insights for each product offer on the platform, or are insights collated from data across the whole platform? So currently insights are across years. So all of your insights on your donations, when you go into donations and you go insights, this is all based on the year. You select your year. We are making changes to this to make it more event specific. So yeah, I'll let you know as soon as that rolls out. But yeah, in here you can see all of your average donation amounts, the top performing dollar handles, your top own amount. So you can see if there's a big discrepancy between what you've suggested and what people are donating. You can update that to make that donation process a little bit smoother. Also to help increase the average donation amount. So you might find that everyone's donating $10, 10 pounds, 10 euros. You can update that to 12 and see if you can bump up the average donation amount slightly. You can see if people are giving recurring donations. So if they've set it to go monthly, weekly, and you can see what amounts people are selecting for those, as well as your best pages and days. And then a little breakdown of when those donations happen, what time, what amounts, where they came from.
I think one of the dashboards of the fundraisers, or even from a platform perspective around sharing and page views and self donations. Did you want to quickly share that in terms of insights?
Yeah, definitely. So we also have these insights across entrance as well. So over here, you can see how things like how much the average amount raised is, how many donations people get, how many profile views have come in, as well as the engagement metrics like the blogs, added profile pictures, self-sponsored, shared page, things like increased goals, so and the amount of logins as well. So logins, if people log in over multiple devices, you'll be able to see that because the number will be over 100%. How many people have reached their goal. You can also download those people as well. So if you want to send comms specifically to people that have increased their goal, saying thanks for increasing your goal, or all the people that have sponsored themselves, if you want to send them a note, you can just download them here. Or as part of the integration, we can send flags for all that information. So you can set up an automation that automatically, as soon as you, increase your goal, you would send them an email, so you don't have to touch it.
Great. And just to call out that this is a demo account, so the information's a bit skewed. Yeah,
exactly. Cool. I can see there's a question here on streaming. So can the supporter choose if they want to have live streaming enabled, or is it all supporters have it or no one has it? So we leave everything up to the user. So the user can choose whether or not to use it. I'll show you some examples. So here we have Keith's page. Keith has streaming on there. He did his Ironman. And you can see the messages from the donations as well as the stream chat. But if you look at another person's page, so on this site, they have it enabled across the platform, but they don't necessarily, this person hasn't chosen to do it. So they don't have streaming on their page. So it's all up to the user. So we would just enable it as an option, and then if the user wants to use it, they can.
Yeah, and the streaming capabilities are YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Mixer, correct, Luca?
Correct. Well, we also, you can do Facebook Live and YouTube. So there's a few different streaming options. It just depends on, which one the user wants to use. And then another question, can you do a live stream as a whole charity from one location on the homepage as well as individual fundraisers? So for the individual fundraisers, obviously they would be in charge of those streams, so it wouldn't be you streaming on their pages, but charity as a whole, we can add a block onto the homepage that has that live stream on it. That's easy. Triggers. With triggers, would a supporter get 3 separate emails if they achieve 3 things at once, like self-donate, 50 target, upload profile pic? If they did all 3 at once, yes, they would receive it because it's all instantaneous. So if you've done 3 completely different things, then you would get emails for those 3 things.
Is it worth just quickly showing how triggers work? How you can set up, or a charity can set up triggers?
Yep. So I'll quickly show you that. So that's where we were before. So you just jump into platform setup, donation, fundraising options. Sorry. And then you'd go into gamification, triggers. And then you would add a new trigger. And here we have quite a few options. Of course, all this stuff can be managed as well through your chosen platform, because all this data can be sent across. And I can show you quickly how that works. So you have your donation-based triggers, fitness-based, fundraiser interactions, and team interactions. So you can say a member reaches 100 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers, miles. It will automatically set based on what you've set as the distance option in this case. Then you'd have the title. You'd choose if it's event specific or not, if it's global, if it's based on community fundraising theme. And then if you have a range of different email templates, you might have different email templates for each of your events, or there might be just the default one. So you can select your template, add your subject line, and then you've got a WYSIWYG there that you can just add your content to. You can also add personalization tags to this. So any fundraiser information, team, fundraising, or event information. And then you create the trigger.
Cool. So an example of that could be, if it's event-based, you could either send an SMS or an email that's personalized from the fundraising team to say, hey, congratulations, you've just made X amount of money, or you've just cycled 50% of the way there of your 1,000-kilometer challenge. It could be like a video, but also it could be you've also now raised as for our charity globally this amount of money, and there could be a nice video from the CEO of the charity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can do things like, for example, set up an SMS trigger. If someone donates over $2,000, you can send them a note saying, thanks so much for your donation, it means a lot. So it's a lot more personal, and obviously you can have their name and everything in there. So yeah, you can really build that connection using triggers as well. So it's pretty much however you want to set it up, we enable that functionality, and then it's pretty much up to you how to leverage those tools.
Yeah. And with that, you can also unlock badges or different profile things on their page that they get, like a platinum overlay on their page, because they are now in the global club of raising £100,000 for the charity. Or it could be that just unlocks the 50% there of their 1,000-kilometer challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went through that before. So you can set all that in the fundraising options. So you can set all of the gamification elements there, and then those can be split out. We do custom ones as well. So I see there was a question here around encouraging supporters to take part in multiple events. So we sometimes add custom badges, usually in the dashboard, that say, you know, you've taken part in this many events. But like in the case of Vinny's, having this displayed on the page where you see the taking part in the 6th sleep out, we can also have a badge just as easily saying, you know, you've participated in 6 events. So that's really easy to do. And then I'll quickly touch on the emails as well. So in terms of emails, we have all of the automated ones and fundraiser ones. So the automated ones are the triggered transactional emails. So when you complete a registration, the user just gets an email that says whatever you'd like it to say. So for example, if I go to registration, we can just update the copy in here to say whatever you want it to say. So just first name, congratulations and thanks for registering. And yeah, the user just gets this automatically as part of their registration. So it's not something that you have to send off. You can just trigger it. You can also resend all of these. So for example, if a user makes a mistake in an email, in their email address when they're signing up, you can go in, you can update their email and then resend all these receipts. It's all against the entrant. So you just have an option to just resend, and you hit save and that's it. They get another email. You can also see if they've opened it as well. So you can see if they have received it. Cool. Is there anything else anyone might want to see? Just conscious of time as well. We've got 15 minutes and I can keep talking about the platform for days. So. Nope. Okay. I'll take you guys through a few different things on here. So I'll take you through another site called Pour Party. So what these guys have, they've got their overall goal. They've got a little ticker as well of all the people that have registered, and they can see how many pour parties are coming through. As part of this, they also do a little virtual puppy party. So they have a little stream that shows all the little puppies, which is a fantastic idea. And they've got all the little fundraisers here. So you can see this person obviously added a photo of their puppy. You've got your donation page, the personalized blog posts. Obviously this person, you can also add additional content on here. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. As well as what they've achieved. So you can see in terms of custom badges, you can see this one, they have one for registered by the 29th of April. So unfortunately, this person did not achieve that, but they have set up all their other stuff and they're just short of their target. and then you've got the updates, so that people can add as they go through their fundraising experience. So you can see on Keith's page, if I go, he's been making the most of the updates. We've got all the photos there of the process. And all of these also have share links as well. So you can get people to keep leveraging their page and pushing people back onto it to make those additional, additional donations.
Yeah, I would just, sorry, Luke, a couple of things. The reason why, I mean, I think updates, we all know the importance of updates. The more people update their page, the more engaged. Every share is worth £5 to £10 because you share it with your network. But when I live streamed, I made sure that I promoted the page, this page, my fundraising page for the charity. I didn't point anyone anywhere else because when people were on my page, I wanted people to see the journey that I've been on whilst live streaming, and most of the income come through whilst live streaming. So that's the importance of having a storyboard of the experience so people can see that whilst they're watching the live stream. We also have a question from Anna. Would be great to see the link to Strava.
Yeah, so for Strava, you've actually seen it on a lot of these sites. So this kind of thing is what happens with the default link to Strava. In terms of the user process, it's really straightforward. So these guys don't have it enabled because they have their own little pedometer. But as part of this, you'd also have a link to Strava and whatever app. The user just clicks on that and authorizes it. There's not really anything to show because it's 2 clicks from a user perspective. And then as part of that, that just syncs through. So I'll...
Did you also want to add about the, to show that, talk about the maps as well? Because what we're trying to do is give the control to the fundraiser and the charity to drive the comms and to drive what they want on their page rather than do too much automation of maybe putting a lot of trash on the fundraising page.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can show you that. I'll just double check it's enabled on here. Okay. So you can also go in. So I'll go back to my page here. I can log in as myself.
Nice picture, Luca.
Thank you. And then, yeah, you can add your Strava map. So as part of this, you pretty much just set the title and then you grab your embed code from Strava and then just paste it in there. And that's it. And then it just pulls in Strava's maps. In terms of that, it's up to the person posting it. They can choose how they want that map displayed because, you know, you have the option for those maps to have street names and everything on it, or you have the option to hide and anonymize all that information. So the user would just do that on their, on their Strava, and then they can just pop it in here and it will embed the exact same Strava map that they're using.
Yes, there's 2 Strava components. One is the automation where you connect Strava in the immediate instance and it updates your miles logged as you showed on that graph. The second part is if you want to add an update on a particular run you've done or a ride you've done, you can do that by this map embed code as you described.
Yeah, and the main reason for that is to make sure that the fundraiser has control. You know, we aren't pulling the maps in automatically because some people might not be too happy with that. They might find that, here we go, we've got an example. They might not be too happy with their maps appearing straight away, especially if they haven't set their preferences to not hide their locations. So here's my, not my afternoon walk, but yeah, here's an example of what that map looks like. So it just embeds the exact Strava one. And so you can see in this example, it does have the detail on there in terms of general areas, but yeah, it'll be up to the user to change that. Is there any other questions around this specifically, the updates? You can also add a whole bunch of other ones. You can add your TikToks, you can add YouTube, you can add images, as well as Facebook Live on there as well, or just a general post. Yeah, if people want to add the quick update. Anna, did you have any other questions on that one? Yeah. Nope. Okay. We'll continue on. So yeah, you can see like some people do really get you know, the fundraisers that make use of these tools, they are really the ones that tend to raise the most. You can see in this example, you know, there's pretty much daily updates on what they're doing and where they're going as part of the specific campaign. And it's a really good way to get people to keep coming back to the page. And then at the bottom here, you have all of the supporters. For everything can be localized. So we have, you know, multilingual, multi-currency, as well as, you know, if you have, in the case of May 50K, I mean, it's kilometers, but at an event level, you can set it to miles. You can, yeah, adjust it as much as you like. You can focus on steps instead of distance. Yeah, it's all up to you. So I'll show you some examples there. So in the admin, under the event, you can go in there and you can adjust all of these things. So if I did like my virtual one, for example, I can have multiple entry forms if I want. And then in the options, I can make any adjustments. So even if you wanted things like, you had 2 different Stripe accounts, you wanted funds to go to 2 different locations, you can do all that in here. You can set all of your custom targets, any custom dollar handles, if you want the user to set their own dollar handles, all of your images, your default messaging. If you wanted to add completely custom content on those profile pages to have it there all the time, you can add that as well. You can adjust the gamification for just that event. Yeah, I mean, the options are really limitless. So it's depending on the concept, you would use some or all of this functionality. The majority, you know, you can even do things like integrate merchandise as part of the registration flow. So if you're selling things like you know, shirts or candles, you can do that as well. So in the entry flow, you can go in, you can adjust it. You can add a merchandise step, enabled. And now you've got a merchandise step, and you can choose your merchandise products as well. You can have it set on different waves. So if you have different distances you want to focus on, if it's a physical event, or even just have a virtual event where people select their distances or start times, you can do that as well. Within the create your page, there's quite a few options as well. So we can enable streaming here. We've got the fitness details. If you want to create a page, if you want to have everything in a simple 2-step flow, you can do that without having to add all the additional ones. And then you can relabel all these as well. So you don't have to stick with the create your account, create your page. You can label them however you like.
This is the cookie nav bar at the top, isn't it? Of yeah, when people are registering, yeah.
Yeah, so if I'll show you an example. Oh, I've already registered, sorry. Log out. So you can see the different steps. You can change the order of these as well. If you want to adjust that. As soon as someone's created their account, that's captured. So if they don't complete registration, for example, you can, but you've got the opt-in over here, you can send them a note saying, you know, if you, yeah, come back and complete your registration, or do you need some help completing your registration, to get people to keep coming through.
Luca, I was just going to ask, is it worth, just because we've only got a few minutes, a couple of minutes left, is it worth just going down the side nav of sort of like the platform itself, and also just whilst you do that, talk about users and permissions?
Yeah, cool, easy. So in terms of users and permissions, I'll take you guys through that first. So as an admin, you have access to this accounts area. Well, you have access to everything. We don't really lock anything off in the full stack. So any additional features, you just receive them straight away. You can create different user types. So in user types, you can say, sales staff might have access to, entrance and promo codes, but they don't have access to events or languages if you're using multilingual, or they don't have access to Salesforce or Razor's Edge. So you can lock off certain areas to certain groups. You also have, against the individual, you can also set a few additional options. So things like read only, so they can see what's in the platform, but they can't make changes to it, as well as being able to publish pages or not be able to publish pages. So it's quite handy in terms of the flexibility. So you can assign whatever type you want. So you can have one for finance that pretty much just looks at reports. It doesn't necessarily need to have access to fundraiser information because everything is already in there, and they may not need access to content pages. So you can simplify how many options they have in here and just have like 2 or 3 things that they just focus on that are relevant to their role. So that's really handy.
Is there any limit to the users?
No. So sometimes we set up ones for if it's an event that has, for example, a lot of committees. Like you might have 250 different locations and they all need access, but they only need access to the entrant records. They don't need access to anything else. And you don't want them like messing with donations or anything like that. So you can just lock off that one thing and just to that one event. So you can limit it to just the event, or we have multi-charity, which enables effectively you to limit it to a certain Stripe account, let's say, and you can limit it just to that as well. So I can say this person can only see this event, and they can only see like a specific, Stripe account, and that's all they have access to.
And when you talk about Stripe accounts, it could be like a national charity that has regional cost centers or regional fundraising, and they have money dispersed in different accounts. That's what you mean by that.
Yeah, or for example, as part of registration, that registration fee needs to go somewhere, but the donations on the profile pages need to go somewhere else. You can structure it like that. You might have a different Stripe account for merchandise. So all of your merchandise needs to go through a specific Stripe account that can just go through there. So yeah, we do it a few different ways. We have sites where you might have 200 charities from around the world that all have money coming to them, but they don't need to see anything in the admin. We do that in some corporates, and yeah, that just money comes across. They get the reports that are just relevant to that charity, so just the money that's in the specific Stripe account, and that's it. And as part of that as well, obviously, along with the multi-charity aspect, you can always have different logos, different tax receipts, different few other different comms in there as well. Cool. So that's accounts and charities. Then you've got your content elements. So you've got your media library. This is pretty straightforward. It's where you upload your photos, videos. You've got your assets. So that's if you have fundraising materials or something like that. As part of that, you can create a page in the user's dashboard where they can get all their resources, or you can have a public page for that, and it'll just pull in automatically, or you can select which assets go where. So that's quite handy for those fundraising resource pages. You've got web forms. So this is pretty much for creating a form that you want to put wherever you want to put it. So I'll quickly show you an example of that. So if you want to add some additional questions, additional forms into the registration flow, you can create it on web forms and attach it to a registration flow. Like in this example, you can have a contact us form, and that contact us form can go to a specific thank you page. I can alert a specific person. I can push it to Campaign Monitor or into Salesforce. It can be sent to the help desk module in the platform as well, so you can manage everything from in here. And then you just select your form fields. So whatever form field you'd like, you can just pop them in there. I think we'll just run out of time. We'll bang on. Does anyone have any final questions?
Nice work, Luca.
No. All
I think we
right.
had one challenge there. I think we've got one tick against you that we challenged you that you couldn't do. I think that's a record.
Yeah. I would disagree, but yeah, that's fine. Cool. Well, thanks very much for your time, everyone. And feel free to join in next time, or if you have any questions, shoot them across.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
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 Some dogs trying to join the dog and paw party.
Sorry, that's my dog.
Oh no, the paw party. It sounds like they want to go.
Oh, they want dinner. They should go. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.